So today I have a battle here against Yus17lgx, and he's a guy that's actually known on YouTube for doing Wi-Fi battles of every generation using emulator. If that sort of thing appeals to you, make sure you check him out. The link is in the description. He's a pretty damn good YouTuber, and yeah, this is a roulette. And yeah, so we decided to do a roulette with the standard rules. And he gave me a bunch of low numbers, so what I ended up getting was like a complete Gen 1 team, with I think the exception of one Alolan Pokemon, since all of my boxes are ordered by Pokedex number, and because he just gave me a bunch of low numbers, it kind of worked out that way, which, yeah, whatever. So I'm going to lead with Blastoise, and this is not a Mega Blastoise. I decided just to go for the Toxic, and it ends up toxicking the incoming Slowbro, and that's not too shabby. However, I do not have Dark Pulse, being this is not a Mega Blastoise, it's a normal Blastoise, so there's no reason really to, have Dark Pulse. So I decided to go into Muck as he goes for a Thunder Wave, and that is going to paralyze Muck, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't really think he can do too much to me, because this Muck is a Assault Vest Muck, like most of them, and they're just especially bulky up the wazoo. So out goes Slowbro as he goes now into Zapdos, and yeah, he's going to get this pressure on my team and stuff as I just go for a knockoff. And that's going to get rid of the leftovers, which makes this Zapdos a bit less annoying. Unfortunately, I don't really think I can do much more damage than that. So he's actually going to go ahead and switch here into not a horse, which is his Mudsdale. And I'm just going to Nakato, my Arcanine. I have no idea why it's nicknamed. In fact, I definitely need to change that. I tried to unnickname things that I had that were nicknamed. Most of the things I had nicknamed are just donations from people back when I did that, so that's something I have to do. But yeah, that's not a very good double switch for me, so I decided to go back into Blastoise. I did get the Intimidate on this thing, so it's not really going to be it's not going to be able to do much even with Earthquake. And he's going to retreat now into Slowbro again, as I just go for a Scald. Obviously, can't even burn this thing at this point because it's already Toxic Poison, which is good. I thought it was going to be a Mega Slowbro at first, so that would have obviously been better. But yeah, with Regenerator, Slowbro can kind of mitigate the Toxic Poison, but it still forces him to switch out every now and then. So it gives him a turn limit to have the Toxic Poison on it. And in addition, once it's, withered down his team, he might not be able to switch it out as easily, and he can start maybe getting the kill on it. Either way, he goes back into Mudsdale as I go to Muck, so he definitely predicted that switch, and nice for him. I go into Blastoise again, but this time I do not have the Intimidate on it, so he's going to be able to do a little bit more with Earthquake, and that is an uncomfortable amount of damage, unfortunately. Thankfully, Blastoise is still a physical beast, all things considered, and just going to try to go for a Scald. And I end up getting the burn, thankfully, which is kind of nice. I really needed it, and yeah, getting it kind of rules. And that means he's not going to be able to finish me off with Earthquake. In fact, I don't really think it would have finished me off anyway, but it means it does considerably less, and my Blastoise is still looking pretty nice, is what that means. And I'm just going to stay in and try to go for another Scald to, I don't think it's going to kill this thing, but, it's going to wither it down. No, I decided to switch out. I lied! I'm going to Cloyster, that's right, because I'm like, okay, maybe this is the time I can set up Cloyster. Because obviously Cloyster without a Shell Smash has some amazing defense. And, after the burn, they, Earthquake does around 30 damage, which isn't bad at all. Actually less than that, so hooray, and now I am going to Shell Smash, confident that I can take a, Earthquake pretty nicely, or even a Rock move if he carries it. And yeah, I just go for the Rock Tomb. Now, it does get rid of one of my speed, and unfortunately I kind of wanted the +2 speed, because he does have Pheromosa on his team, unfortunately. But what can you do? I don't think I can outspeed Pheromosa now, but I'm just going to go for an Icicle Spear. Now, he does get stamina after every hit, but at +2 attack, guaranteed 5 hits, pretty sure it's going to be able to kill the Mudsdale anyway. And indeed, it does. I'm able to take it out with just 3 hits, and the Mudsdale has been defeated, so that is not too bad. And, yeah, he's going to go into Pheromosa now, and like I said, I'm pretty sure it outspeeds. Now, I do have Ice Shard. I'm like, okay, let's try to go for it. Because Pheromosa hates priority. Unfortunately for me, it is a Focus Sash one. He's going to be able to get off a U-turn, so not a high jump kick. And because he went for the U-turn, I survived with 2 HP, and that's at -1 defense. That's how physically bulky Cloyster is. It took a hit from Pheromosa, of all things, at -1 defense. A stabbed hit, no less. I mean, obviously U-turn's not the most powerful move, but still pretty damn impressive. Back into Arcanine I go against the incoming Entei, as he just goes for extreme speed, obviously, to finish me off. And I decided to keep my Cloister around because I still do have that priority move. Obviously, I'm not going to get another chance to set it up, probably, but having that priority move, especially since I know he has Dragonite, and still that 1 HP Pheromosa is definitely something I want to do. So I decided to go for a close combat, and he just goes in wisely into Slowbro, so it's really not going to do a whole lot. And yeah, time to go ahead and switch out again because I really do not want to take a Scald on my Arcanine. So I go out into Muck again, confident that I can obviously take things well, and here he double switches into Zapdos. Not really sure if that's what he's predicting, but I actually don't know what the Zapdos can do to my Muck. It's like, I mean, I'm incredibly, I mean, I'm Assault Vest, Alolan Muck. No one takes physical hits, or sorry, special hits better. So I'm like, okay, let's see what he can do, and he just goes for a Thunderbolt. It does some very minor damage, but I'm like, okay, this might be my opportunity for the Golem. I was actually hoping that he would either go for the Roost or another Thunderbolt. Instead, he just goes for the U-turn, so that's kind of sad because he is going to break my Sturdy with that. And he's going to be able to go into Pheromosa here, which is a good play, so he's going to go into it before I can actually set up Stealth Rocks. And, yeah, I'm just too afraid of a high jump kick, so I decided to switch out into Blastoise. I'm actually just kind of trying to fodder this thing. But he ends up just going for the U-turn again, which is fine, and Blastoise once again just lives with bare, 17 HP, not too bad. And he's going to go into Zapdos again, which is obviously going to force my switch. And like I said, I'm still kind of predicting either Thunderbolt to kill my Blastoise, or a Roost to get his HP back. So I decided to try to go right back into Golem. And he does indeed try to kill me with Thunderbolt, and does not affect Golem. And that is pretty nice for me. So I'm back to full HP, so I still have my Sturdy again. As he just goes for a U-turn to break it again, which is fine. The major thing here is I'm going to be able to set up Stealth Rocks, which is huge, because that's obviously going to kill the Pheromosa on the switch-in. His Zapdos might have Defog to get rid of it, but it's still pretty huge to get it off, because Zapdos is already at like half HP, so he's going to take 25% on switch-in, and he's going to take 25% on his Entei, and I think he has another Pokemon weak to it too, so yeah, it's Dragonite, which is huge, because I'm really worried about that Dragonite setting up on me. Either way, I decided to go into Wigglytuff, which is a guy you guys haven't seen yet. I think it's my last Pokemon I've revealed, and yeah, so he's going to end up getting the bird off the first Scald, which sucks because it's going to negate my leftovers, but at the same time, it's not a big deal because the Wigglytuff is not a physical attacker. And yeah, just going to, what do? I decided to go for the Wish to see what he would do, and yeah, that's what I do. Because Wigglytuff is so tough, it can take pretty much any hit. Maybe not, but I mean, it is wiggly and it is tough, so that's all I gotta say. Any switch, just gonna eat my leftovers, and then I'm gonna get my HP back due to the Wish, I think, so. Wait, no, is that next turn? That's next turn, I think. Yeah, all these after-turn effects is really bogging down this battle right now. Oh well. He does withdraw Slowbro, as I believe I just go for a Protect, which also would Toxic Stall him. He makes a good play and just switches on this turn, knowing that I would do that. It would have been a good opportunity for me to actually, and I was thinking about trying to go for a Wish and then switch out into one of my weaker mons, like Blastoise or Cloyster, but I decided it was just too risky. I really didn't want to, I mean, I guess it wasn't really a big risk for Blastoise, who doesn't really have a purpose, but at the very least, they're Death Fodder if I need them. And I really don't want to risk losing Cloyster because, like I said, that Ice Shard is pretty relevant still. Anyway, so I go for a Hyper Voice as he goes into Zapdos. He's predicting either Defog or Roost. I was hoping that he would go for the Defog, which would pretty much cost him his Zapdos, and I could just have Stealth Rocks again later. Instead, he goes for the Roost, and unfortunately for me, he's going to be able to heal more than I'm doing, so it's kind of whatever. I decided to go into Golem now, as he now U-turns and goes into Slowbro, which is obviously not a very good matchup for me. And it's going to force me once again to switch as we wait for the after-turn effects here. Primarily the Slowbro, who, because of all the switching, it's just, getting that Regenerator health boost every time, and obviously resetting the Toxic Poison. So, he goes for a Scald against my Muck, once again, going to Muck, knowing that Muck can take pretty much any hit this Slowbro can throw at me. And, yeah, that's pretty cool. And I decided to go for a knockoff, figuring that, yeah, knocking off any of his Pokemon's items would be pretty good. He just decides to go into Pheromosa, though, which is pretty decent play, to go ahead and sack it now, to avoid anything else, and end up getting it paralyzed anyway, so it's not a huge deal as he goes back into Entei, and here he makes a great play. He knows that my only real switch into Entei at this point, and one of the major reasons I need Stealth Rock is because of this Entei, which is also weak to Stealth Rock. I forgot about this when I said he had Pokemon weak to Stealth Rock, but he has a lot of them, actually. I go into Arcanine, and he makes a great play, just Stone Edges here. Even after the Intimidate, I'm going to be able to take it out. It's obviously a Choice Banded Entei, as most of them are. And that's that. Fortunately for me, I can still go into Golem and force the switch, and he does have to switch. You can basically use that Entei now as kind of a revenge killer against me. So that's really annoying. Thankfully, I do have the Stealth Rocks, which will limit the amount of turns how many times you can actually switch in, but that's still like 4. He's only extra 2 weak to it. Oh well, so in comes Wigglytuff against the Slowbro. I actually think that was a double switch that I got right. I wanted that double switch and I got it, so that's not too bad. And I think I just go for a wish, or do I try to predict? I don't remember. No, I think I just go for a wish, as he goes into Entei again, which is not too bad. It's down to 50%, and I do have Protect on this thing. Obviously, I'm not really going to get much wish HP back, but I figure once I know what he's going to lock himself into, I can play around it. Unfortunately for me, obviously, he's going to lock himself into Sacred Fire, because I lack really a switch in at this point. In fact, I don't even trust a Golem, who is kind of a physically defensive thing, to take 2 Choice Band Sacred Fires. I decided probably, especially because it can burn too, which is a situation you just don't want. I decide ultimately to just go out into my Blastoise, pretty much to sack it, so I don't have to take it on anything. And that is obviously going to be in a dead Blastoise, but now I can go in a Golem, and I'm pretty sure he's going to switch. He ends up not, though, which I'm actually fine with, because this Entei has just been abusing me on switch-ins, you know, on pretty much revenge kills. He instead tries to go for a Sacred Fire against my Golem. It doesn't even do half, and, well, he does get the bird, unfortunately, and, yeah, that does allow me to Rock Blast him, and, unfortunately I don't get the 4th hit, which would have killed him, but, it's whatever. I do have Sucker Punch on this Golem, so I was thinking about going for it, but I'm like, okay, I'm burned, and that's not even stabbed, so, and I know that he can't kill me with another Sacred Fire unless he crits, so I'm just going to just go for the safest play and Earthquake, and that's what I do to take out an Entei. And it's dead, so yay, a dead Entei. Unfortunately, a burned Golem has very limited use for me at the moment, and he's just going to go right into Slowbro. I decide to get some chump damage on my way out. I go for a Sucker Punch, although, actually, I think Earthquake would be doing just as much as Sucker Punch. Actually, no, I think Sucker Punch is slightly more powerful against Slowbro. Either way, Slowbro has a ton of physical defense, and it's not even, you know, it's not going to do much. So down goes Golem, and, yeah, I'm just going to be withering down the Slowbro. In fact, actually not really, because of Regenerator. Anyway, so in comes Wigglytuff, because I'm pretty sure Wigglytuff can outpace the Slowbro, because I have the reliable recovery in Wish, and he can't really abuse his Slack Off if he does have it because of the poison. And, yeah, he's going to go into Zapdos, and here I decided to go for the Dazzling Gleam. I was actually kind of predicting Dragonite to switch in. It ends up being just fine, because that Zapdos is going to die and switch in after the Stealth Rock, so pretty nifty for me, and Wigglytuff just looking tough, if I don't say so myself. In comes Slowbro again, back at full HP, thanks to Regenerator, and I'm just going to go for the Wish, knowing that he's probably just going to attack me, and I really don't want to lose Wigglytuff, because I'm kind of thinking that Dragonite should be... I mean, I'm still in the back of my mind worried that it... because he's been holding off on it, so my thinking was, okay, it has to be some kind of late-game sweeper Dragonite. I'm actually in the back of my mind thinking that it could be weakness policy, so I have to remember that. I don't know if I can actually KO with Dazzling Gleam against a Dragonite, even at 75%. It's just so much of a risk. But either way, I want to keep Wigglytuff around so he can't spam a Dragon move like Outrage or something, so... yeah. My wish came true, as I'm now trying to just get some damage on this Slowbro. Any damage I do now, I mean, obviously he's going to heal 25% on his next switch-in, but as long as I get him below 25%, which he already is, he's about half, you know, I got to keep some of the damage on this Slowbro, and he's running out of Pokemon, so that, in fact, he only down to 2. This, you know, Slowbro and a Dragonite. I just go for another wish. Like I said, I want to keep Wigglytuff pretty healthy as he goes for a Scald. And, yeah, he's going to be taking some boatload of toxic damage here. Now, I decide, okay, he's not going to risk going into Dragonite here on a Dazzling Gleam. I would think not. So I decide to go for a Protect, which will also Toxic Poison the Slowbro more, but he does make a pretty nice prediction here. Going into Dragonite, this turn, predicting that I would not and just go for the Protect to get HP back. Now, here I make a mistake. So, I mean, I could use Dazzling Gleam, but like I said, I'm so worried about the weakness policy, because I think it's one of my favorite Dragonite sets, so I always think about it in the back of my mind, and how much it could have destroyed me if it was. Unfortunately, he just goes for the Iron Head, and, yeah, I don't see any item. It might actually have been weakness policy, which would have been horrible, so maybe it's a good thing I didn't go for the Dazzling Gleam, I don't know. But, unfortunately, he's able to 2-hit KO me with Iron Head, and I decided to go into Cloyster. Now, obviously, he could carry Extreme Speed. I'm just pretty much testing if it does have it. My last Pokemon is Alolan Muck, and obviously this thing could have Earthquake, too. Thankfully, he does switch out, which tells me one of two things. Either he's Choice Banded, which at this point I was thinking is a possibility, or, he just doesn't have Extreme Speed, which is also good. Either way, if he does have Extreme Speed, I do need... in fact, I don't even have a choice. I can't afford to lose Cloyster, because if I lose Cloyster, and it is Choice Banded, that means he can just lock himself into Earthquake. And obviously, yeah, that would be bad. So I go into Alolan Muck again, and I'm just going to go for the knockoff, which would either do nice damage to the Slowbro, but instead he decides to switch back out into Dragonite and take the knockoff on that. And that will be able to take it out, and it is finally revealed that the Dragonite was carrying a Lumberry, so all of my, fears were for naught, but, yeah, I'm going to be able to take out that Dragonite, which pretty much is a good game, because this Slowbro can't do nothing to my Muck, pretty much, so he's going to try to Scald me, but I don't think, even if I get paralyzed every turn, pretty sure he dies to the Toxic Poison before he's able to finish me off the Muck, and even if he does somehow kill me through, like, just all the crits and all of the para-haxes, I still have Cloyster, and hopefully Slowbro is weak enough at that point to finish it off. Finally do get a knockoff, though, and it's not going to quite kill the Slowbro, but I believe that means it's dead to another Toxic hit, or another Poison hit. I did get para-haxed again, so I can't just go for the Crunch, but it's whatever. Like I said, he's dead to his Toxic Poisoning. So that either way, that was a great game, Yus. Thanks for coming out to my stream, and like I said, he's a pretty awesome YouTuber. I'll leave the link to his channel in the description, so really appreciate it if you check him out. And like I said, he does all sorts of Wi-Fi battles, really interesting. He does Gen 1, 2, 3, 4. It's cool. It's cool. So today's question of the day is, what is your favorite Pokemon that does not evolve? There are a lot of Pokemon that doesn't evolve. It can be a Pokemon that you think is just really good. Obviously, there are some extremely notable ones like Skarmory. I'm excluding legendaries from this, so no Pokemon that are actually legendaries. So no Mewtwo, Mew. They don't evolve, but they're legendary. But I'm talking about one-stage Pokemon that are not legendaries. I think the last question there, maybe a couple of question days ago, people mistaken my question for this. But this is a different question entirely. So leave a comment about that, and see you guys again next time. Later.